Hi, and welcome to another episode of Monday Motivation, brought to you by Dominate Your Day. I started Monday Motivation as a space for many episodes to share inspiring ideas and thoughts for leaders in the workplace. As a former corporate leader, I know what it feels like just to need a little boost of inspiration each week. In each episode, I will share a topic to motivate or empower you. So, we are in the month of April and we're talking about well being. So, this first week, we're going to be talking about engagement and well being and really how to unleash your potential by boosting your engagement through your well being at work. So, I'd like to, as we think about April, we think about well being, I'd like to kick off with prioritizing well being and how it can boost your engagement, not just at work, as I mentioned, but really in all areas of your life. And when I think about well being, which I'm very passionate about, I think about this quote: engaged employees are the engine of every thriving workplace. Fuel their well being and watch productivity soar. And I think that is the key of any leader, any entrepreneur, any founder, any CEO right now is a thriving workplace. I grew up at Southwest where we always said happy employees bring happy customers. And it's true. You know, whether you're at the grocery store or you're calling customer service for one of your credit cards or your bank, you know if they're happy or if they're in a thriving environment or not. And it shows, and productivity works. And because everybody is in a culture of strong well being, the company will usually soar. An example of this is Oliver Wyman. I love to really look for case studies of companies that are doing things right. And Oliver Wyman came up with this supporting employee wellness program, and they made it a fundamental part of their employee and company culture. So the company offers employees free professional counseling 24/7. They provide well being and mental health education to employees. And listen to this, they close their offices for recharge days to help employees unplug. Do you ever get that feeling after a big project or you just launched some big campaign or something happened and you just need to have a mental health day? That's kind of what they do. They do a recharge day. And Oliver Wyman also created a global well-being champion network for colleagues to offer support to one another, and they've partnered with other organizations to support well-being at work, such as City Mental Health Alliance, and This Can Happen. Oh my gosh, some great ideas. I know there's 1,000 companies out there right now doing some really good things, but I always love about hearing new ideas about what companies are doing. So, what are some action steps for you this week as a leader or a founder, entrepreneur in your community, in your company? Number one, prioritize mental health. Begin by acknowledging your feelings and seeking help if you need. I was just talking to a leader this morning and she's talking about all about her team, everything. And I said, well, how are you? And she said, I really haven't stopped to think about how I'm feeling. And so I said, well, let's just process your feelings right now. That's the beginning of prioritizing your mental health, being able to acknowledge what you're feeling. And then she was able to say, well, I think this is where I need some help. So that was a big win. Number two, stay active. So we know that one of the key areas of well-being is physical well-being. So if you want to be engaged as a leader, if you want your employees to be engaged, figure out ways to incorporate physical activities into your daily routine. It could be, let's go have a walking meeting, or maybe you're at home and you're in a hybrid situation. You just go both have a walk wherever you are, but you're talking and going over whatever you need to go over. And then the third thing, and this sounds pretty trite, but it's your food. What are you putting in your body? That is so important because you need something that's going to serve you 24 hours after you eat. I did training years ago for a marathon, and one of the things they taught us is that what we ate 3 days before the marathon affected us the day of the marathon. So it really helped me realize what I'm eating today is not going to affect me today. It's going to affect me 2 to 3 days from now. So I want you to think about that as you are thinking about your own well-being and your employees' well-being. So several resources I have for you this week. Recommended reading is Thrive, the third metric to redefining success and creating a life of well-being, wisdom, and wonder. And that's by our own favorite, Ariana Huffington. And then I love the podcast, The Happiness Lab with Dr. Laurie Santos. So, what is one thing you want to do differently this week based on what you just heard? I would love to hear from you and love for you to reach out to us. So, just quickly before we finish, most listeners don't yet follow this podcast. Every additional follow we get helps us to raise the profile of the podcast and bring you more episodes. So if you can do one thing for us today, then please hit the follow button. And if you want to do a second thing for us, invite your friends to hit the follow button. We appreciate you and we want to thank you for listening to us, and stay tuned for next week's session, which will continue on well-being. Bye.